then they would be appalled and they would never give again. They would never. They would hand carry it before they'd give again. And I honestly encourage anybody who might watch this film to really think about who you're giving to, and go look at what they do and make sure that you really understand it.
I did have a look at what the NGOs were doing, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why it was that there was no NGO that was able to help Shanti and her mother get off the street. I'd become very concerned now about Shanti and thought, with 200 NGOs in Cambodia, there must be one that is able to help prevent this little girl from being kidnapped and sold into prostitution. Whilst I found lots of NGOs that took care of street kids were prepared to take care of Shanti, they were not prepared to take care of the mother. In fact, many of them suggested that for the child's good, for Shanti's own good, that she be separated from her mother. In the case of World Vision, I'd learnt that the program costs around $4,000 per annum per child. $4,000 would be enough money to buy Shanti and her mother a block of land 10 times over. There are 20,000 prostitutes in Cambodia, about half of them under the age of 18. Cambodia is advertised on the internet as being the latest hot destination for pedophiles. The Philippines has become too dangerous for pedophiles now because they have new laws and you can go to jail for 20 years for having child sex. Thailand, so says the internet, is very expensive, but Cambodia is cheap, very cheap.
Tina.
Okay, rồi. Lấy đi bà. Em mai lấy lại bà nữa.
Kiên với ông Mỹ nè.
Ông hai, cứ ông hai, đây là ông hai.
Ông hai. Oh, sweet. Nhiều thà này nè. Nè, cái lá. Bị sai.
Qua. Vậy bà.
Đưa lên cho chị qua đây.
Ta chưa, để màu bà lấy đi.
I went back to the brothel on several occasions, and each time I took with me some fish or some bread and vegetables and so on, which I gave to the mama son to keep her happy. I also took back with me photographs that I'd taken on my most recent visit. On one particular occasion, though, I'd accidentally put a black and white roll of film into my camera.
Trời! Trời! Sao con chân tay? À, kim toàn liệp qua liệp ấy không? Đây cho ông lại. Được chưa?
Cho ông rửa đi.
Chưa có rửa, bà này nói người ta chụp đen.
Nó chụp hình trắng đen rồi mà còn rửa mấy người nó không có biết tôi nói cho mà nghe mà còn cãi không à trời. Hình rửa là rửa sẵn luôn, người ta đem tới cho mình. Còn này chụp hình trắng đen, rửa gì nó rửa, vậy nó đem cắt đó. Hỏi ổng cho coi kìa.
Girls were not impressed with my black and white photographs, but the real issue, I think, was that they didn't think they looked as beautiful in black and white as they did in colour. Now, it's very important for Cambodian women to be beautiful. Men prize women of beauty, and women, particularly in the brothel, go out of their way to make themselves look as beautiful and as young as possible. When I first visited the brothel, I thought that young girls like this one sitting on Shreng's lap were young prostitutes. I realised eventually, of course, that they were just neighbourhood kids that dropped in and hung around the brothel because it was a fun place to be. However, I was also told that some of these girls would be available to me sexually if I wanted them, that if I was prepared to pay between $300 and $500, I could buy one of these girls, that I could buy a young virgin. Many of the young virgins that are trafficked in Cambodia are as young as 8 and 9, many of them as young as Shanti. And it isn't just foreign pedophiles that come to Cambodia to have sex with children, it's also Cambodian men themselves. Many men in Southeast Asia believe that having virgin sex will bring them good luck in business, bring them good luck in their lives. They also believe that if they have sex with a girl as young as 8 or 9, a girl that they believe to be a virgin, they have no chance of catching AIDS. And of course they're wrong.
Mời ông để ý thương. Quay qua. Không. Đây, quay qua. Để cái giờ mà giờ ổng kìa. Để hai ngón tay chéo kìa mà cái mắt kia luôn rồi kìa. À có chồng ổng mà riết là nước mắt ổng hư luôn. Ổng quay đây cỡ chừng 10 năm.
It's something about American culture and this stigma that all prostitutes are cast to hell. And that's not what it is here. It's not hell. Hell is not being a prostitute. That's a big difference.
Now that's a very controversial statement. Hell is not being a prostitute.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that they came from hell. These girls are living the only way they know how, to not be in hell. Hell is not eating. Hell is not being able to survive. And these girls, if they have a family, you know their money's going to their family. A lot of these girls were bought. Money was paid to the family. If there was an option to this, then they wouldn't be doing this. Are these girls better off working in a factory, one of these Chinese garment factories that's one of the few industries investing here right now? They're paid a relatively small wage and they work incredible hours.
They're working for piece rates, so their wages vary greatly depending on how much they actually produce. But we found on average they're making about $1 a day, $1 US a day, or $30 a month. And they're working every day, 7 days a week, about 10 to 12 hours a day. We went on a visit to Cambodia Garments Limited the other day with some members of the National Assembly, so it was an official delegation. And as my program officers were walking around the factory, they noticed that, most of the women were very quiet, very sullen, I would say, kind of hesitant to talk to them at all. However, one woman did mutter to my program officer under her breath, "Well, I guess you're going to get all the children fired." And my program officer said, "Well, I don't see any children here." And she responded, "That's right, that's because they told them all to stay home today. They knew you were coming."
What's the destination of the garments of this particular factory?
They're all sold in Europe.